Hi guys, Ingrid Marsh here from Soulful Living with Ingrid, my darlings, helping you to get your groove back and to live a more wildly fulfilling life. So you can help me, help you spread a new vibration in the world, my darling, a new vibration of light, a new vibration of love, and a new vibration of happiness. And helping me to do that are some amazing guests. And particularly today, we've got the lovely Kerry Eddie, who I mentioned in a previous post. She's amazing. She's a mind and body coach. She's a heptathlete. She's a top athlete. She's done amazing things. We're going to go into that. I just want you to know that I bring you the best people, by the way. Yeah, I bring you the best, right? To help you get your groove back. She has an amazing story to tell. And particularly, she helps mums, burnt out mums. And also, because this was me, those executives or what have you, who've done all, you've ticked all the boxes, because this was me, you've ticked all the boxes in life, and then realise, actually, I still don't feel fulfilled. I was 23 and I had it all. Believe it or not, a house in the suburbs, all the rest of it. And I remember thinking, why doesn't this feel so great? I've really been lied to. So it's what my Kerry does. She helps women like that and gets them to live a fulfilling life. But let's hear her story. Let's hear how things got for her before she does that, before she was able to do this. And particularly today, she's going to be helping us deal with SAD, S-A-D. And those of you who suffer that will know, but we'll go into that as well. And it's a depression that's connected to the seasons. Many of us get it. And this in itself is sapping our groove. All right, so we need to get back that energy. We can't give the power over to the weather. But enough about me. I've spoken too much. Over to my Kerry. Hello, my lovely. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. Yeah, really good. Thanks. Yeah.
Fantastic. So tell us exactly what you've done, because I know you've been some top athlete or a top athlete, actually it was.
Oh, not anymore.
Well, you're still looking amazing. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, still like to keep in good shape. Yeah, I suppose my journey sort of started, it was always good at sport, at school, and particularly athletics. So I competed sort of school locally, then got into the heptathlon because I was good at a variety of sports. So the heptathlon is 7 events. So I did that. I competed for 13 years in the Great Britain team as an international. I did a couple of Commonwealth Games. So I got to a pretty good level at the heptathlon. I then sort of moved into coaching. When I was at university, I studied sport at university because I was good at sports, what gave me confidence, what I was good at. So I studied it and I wanted to sort of help others. So I did sports science, and my coach encouraged me to go into teaching. So I became a PE teacher to pass on my knowledge there, and also went into coaching. So I was a Great Britain athletics coach for about 14 years. I became a national coach mentor, so mentoring other coaches. So I did that for, a number of years. But when I was a mum, trying to fit it all in, I was like, being a teacher and a coach, I was like, no time for my children. So I sort of looked for something different that I could work, so I could get, better work-life balance, work around my children. So I set up my own business thinking that would be easier. Not to be.
Ding.
Yeah, so then, I was working with local mums who wanted to get fit. They were like, oh, yeah, you can help us get fit. So I'd gone from working with children who were unmotivated to exercise to mums who were motivated, but were, stuck, frustrated, didn't have the time to exercise. And, it was a big learning curve working with mums. But then, trying to be successful, going from a really successful athlete, nationally recognised, a national coach, to just being a local mum. I wanted to be successful as a coach, coaching mums, and I struggled with that. And I burnt myself out trying to do that, trying to feel successful again. And help these mums. I wasn't seeing the results I wanted to see with all these mums. I was helping them to get fit, but they just fall off the wagon. And I knew there was more that I needed to learn. And it's in my own sort of burnout that I then started looking more into what's going on up here a little bit more, and trying to apply some of the stuff that I learned as a.
Before you continue, I'm going to go on to that a bit more, because you tapped on your head there, and which was important to me, because as you were speaking earlier, I thought, well, to be a heptathlon, 7 sports, to be as great as you were, that must take some serious mind control, and a powerful mindset to be able to achieve that.
Yeah, I think so. And competing at a high level, requires a lot of dedication, a lot of training, and switching from one event to the other. You have ups and downs in the 7 events. So one event can go really well and the next one goes bad, and it's controlling your emotions. So you do have to be a very, stable sort of athlete. And it wasn't, but, what happened for me, I didn't transfer all of that information straight away into everyday life. It was like the track, I can do this on the track. But I didn't relate it to, it took other coaches to point out to me,
it's a try.
I'm like, I used to do that as an athlete. Why didn't I visualize as an athlete? Why didn't I set goals as an athlete? I set goals as an athlete. I knew how to plan, to evaluate, to reflect, to reassess, to course correct. And I wasn't doing any of that in my day-to-day life and family and relationships. And it wasn't till bing, I realized all this mindset stuff, the stuff I was doing as an athlete, I just wasn't doing in the rest of my life. And it all applies. All the same principles apply.
Tell me a little bit more about the burnout, because a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that burnout moment where it's like you hit the brick wall. I think I've hit the brick wall more than once. But tell me about that moment where it was actually, I've hit a brick wall. Explain to me that part.
Yeah, so I was doing a bit of personal training, working with these mums, but I never had time to train. For me, training was to do 3 hours of exercise a day. It was like all or nothing, and I couldn't do that. I was trying to, be a mum, get the kids to school. I was coaching athletes, voluntary coaching athletes in the evening, helping mums in the day. Trying to learn and study to be a better coach of mums, because I was only used to working with high performing athletes, and your everyday mum isn't the same. So I had to do a bit more studying and marketing. When you've got your own business, it's all about marketing and everything. There's so much into it. So I was trying to learn everything, and I was like burning the candle at both ends, working through the night on my business, working, in the day on actually coaching people. And it got to the point where one of my daughters, I couldn't take her to a gymnastics trial to see if she could go into the competition squad. My husband was playing rugby. I was coaching, and I was like, no one. I was like, it's come to a point where I'm so busy that my kids are missing out. I'm not getting any sleep. I'm, feel like, despite being an athlete and still exercising, I just had no energy, no motivation. I kept making mistakes, my relationship, arguments with the kids. It was just everything, just like, I wasn't doing a good job of everything. It come to that point, I realized there was just compromises everywhere. I wasn't doing a good job of anything. And I realized something's going to change. Otherwise, something drastic is going to happen.
Yeah. So it impacted your kids' life. You said in your bio, she's got a really great bio, by the way, you're going to read it out. It's an amazing bio. And because it's so relatable, really. And you said it started impacting your marriage and all the rest of it. And this is where, as mums, we're just trying to be everything, right? Trying to just juggle and this, aiming for this perfection. And it all went belly up.
That's it. Yeah, you just feel like you're being judged against the other mums if you're not doing all the things for school. In athletics, all the coaches were men. I was like the only female. You want to try and stand out. You don't want to just be I was on the Great Britain team. Sometimes I felt like I was the only female. I was the token female. So you want to prove yourself all the time. So you're always constantly trying to do your best in everything that you do to feel successful, to be valued, to be worthy, and the whole time you don't look after yourself.
The whole time then you're being what energy, anything else is being depleted. Like everyone else is being looked at you. So really, in a way, it's a special name for it, isn't it? But in a way, the burnout is almost what we need, isn't it? To sort of,
unfortunately, but I try to make people aware that you've got to do something before something disastrous happens. You don't want your marriage to fall apart for it, realize, I need to do something. Something needs to change. It's trying to make people aware and read the signs and, understand
about that.
Yeah.
So, Kerry, one thing that attracted me to, and that's why I wanted you to come on the show, is because you did a wonderful post on the issue of SAD, which I know impacts loads of people. Mums, yes, but including children, men, teens, all the rest of it. So tell us a bit about that. What is SAD?
So it's not just SAD, it's seasonally affective disorder. It's not just
you just feel sad.
It's sad. It is where you're feeling sad and depressed, and it is a seasonal thing, and it's related to the cold and the lack of exposure to light is where the biggest sort of issue comes. So in this country, we're in the winter where there's less sunlight. It sort of affects your brain. There's less sunlight, so there's less melatonin and serotonin. Your feel good and your sleep hormones are affected by it. So it makes you just want to stay inside, to hibernate, to eat carbs, and it just brings that mood down. And I say, there's been a lot more research over it over the last sort of 15 years or so, and your whole sort of body clock can be altered by it, because we use the sunlight. It affects our sleep-wake cycles, and when it's dark in the morning and dark at night, the body doesn't know what's going on. So it just dampens the mood down, and you then start craving things to make you feel good, so craving that sugar. So I just want to hibernate, keep warm, and eat sugar. And it really does bring people down. I know my mom used to suffer from it terribly, but she wouldn't go outside. So
that's the thing, isn't it? It's like the double-edged sword, isn't it? It's you've got this weather, or your association with this weather, like sucking out your battery, draining your battery. I talk about battery a lot, that's where all your energy is. Draining out your battery. I love that. Like you said, your automatic result is to start stuffing yourself with carbs and feel heavy and dark and all the rest of it. The very thing that's going to help solve it is a million times harder to do. So is this a whole mind controlled mind? I mean, can we, get that mindset in place to hit the road despite your body telling you, it's like, my body's telling me no, and this is your mind said but your body, this is what it wants. I mean, how do we overcome that?
Yeah, exactly. So all the things that are good for us, our body's telling them we don't want. We're so used to we want getting that quick fix, and we've got to take that time just to slow down and what is it really that the bodies want. So getting the mindset is so important to all of this. And it's making sure that we focus on the positives. Making sure that we realize that this is something that is real, that we've got to there are things that we can do to improve it. We've got a natural sort of negative bias in us, and we want to just crawl away and hibernate, but we have to sort of change our perspective about it and know that we are in control, that we can do things about it. So it's focusing on what we can do, focusing on, do we actually know what it is that makes us happy, and focusing on the things that make us feel good in a non-destructive way. So, it's appreciating, we feel happy when we appreciate things. So it's focusing on the things that we appreciate in life, the things that we do actually have, and the things that do give us joy, and focusing on those a little bit more, staying connected with other people. And the more you can do that, the more, you will shift your sort of mood. But so it's just making yourself aware, and then just for me it's about getting routines in place that will help you, give you energy, give you confidence, so that you can manage them. And if you're in a situation where you do need help, it's getting someone just to help you put those little routines in place about getting outside, about feeding your body with the right things that will feed your mind. There's a big connection between the gut and the mind and the mood. What your food does feed how you feel. So it's getting those good habits in place, and then you're less likely to slump out of it. So, there are simple, easy things that you can do, but like you say, it's going against your intuition to begin with. So awareness is key.
So again, Kerry, sorry.
So awareness of that it's actually happening, and this could be you. It is key, and there are things that you can. There's nothing wrong with you. There are things that you can do just to rebalance those hormones and to make you feel good.
Oh, that's been wonderful to know. What's lovely what you mentioned there was two things you mentioned there, which I just want to jump on, because somebody I interviewed earlier, we said the same thing. We've just got this quick fix mentality, haven't we? Yeah. And it hasn't helped with, these apps we have now and everything can be done in 2 minutes. And we all feel it's going to make ourselves better and happier, but they don't really make you any happier. I think there's something about the journey, but we've got this quick fix mentality. So we are, like you said, we fix it with carbs, with alcohol and all the rest of it. But they're having, much more detrimental effect long term. So you said about the quick fix and creating a new habit, isn't it? It's creating that new habit, because if you're not used to doing that, it's putting those new routines and putting those new habits in place, which I guess that's what you help people to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of things can be solved by just getting some nice, healthy habits, but it's sometimes it's difficult to get those going on your own. Something comes up, something major happens. We live such busy, stressful lives, and things just knock us off. We're just like, oh God, I need, and especially when we're busy, I need just to feel good now, and the habits go out the window. So it's having support and accountability if you are struggling to do these things, just to get you on track. And once you start building some momentum, you can usually the other things come in. So it's just getting a few key basics of of getting outside, exercising.
So I'm really glad you said this as well, because I've always just felt that I don't like giving anything my power. I don't want to give the weather my power.
Yeah. I mean, there's countries where it's pretty much dark all winter, and they don't give into it. There's things that you can do to we are survivors, we will adapt and survive, but we have to think and actually do things and take action to, not just to accept that this is the way it is. It's about taking action. What can you, you're always in control of how you feel, and there's things that you can do naturally that are good for you to make you feel better, to make you feel good. And like you say, a lot of it is habit and getting into those, being aware and then getting into those habits and forming routines.
And what's people always said that there are natural ways of dealing with it without having to, go to any other extremes, which I absolutely love. Tell us about your program. You have a magnificent program that you run, don't you? Tell me about that.
So my Invincible Women program is sort of
I just love the title. So can you say that? I love the title.
Invincible Women. So I've got my Invincible Women Blueprint, which is sort of all the things I've talked about here, about helping busy women. A lot of it get back in control of their emotions and their energy. Like I said, I've worked with women in fitness, and everyone knows that they need to get fit, they want to lose weight, they want to feel good, and they set out on a regime, but then something happens within their life that knocks them off course, and it's usually emotions, a lot of emotional stuff, emotional eating and things that, they fall off the wagon. And it's given sort of support and systems to keep people confident, to maintain their energy, to stop them leaking their energy, to protect it, that fits around their busy lives. And once you're feeling more confident and you protect your energy, then you can do so much more. So it's the other thing that a lot of women suffer with is limiting beliefs. The beliefs about themselves, and stuff in the mindset holds them back. So once you start building up their confidence, building up their energy, and start removing some of the limits they have on themselves about what they are capable of achieving and doing, then they thrive and survive, and no longer struggling with stress and emotions holding them back. So basically that's what my program is. It's sort of a 90-day program where we work on all of these things in a group, and there's individual sort of coaching involved in that. But we are all so much stronger than we think, and it's about harnessing that power and bringing it out in some people. Some people aren't aware of how much they have in it within them.
I love that you say harnessing that gave me goosebumps actually. Just remember that we are so much more powerful than we know, but you know, the system, this world around us, if we're not conscious, like I said, if we don't become aware, it can just really gobble us up, gobble up our confidence and gobble up our energy. You know, that's the key point, that is just being leaked from our system, and with no energy, you know, crikey, we're depleted. I was speaking about it the other day on a vid, you know, it's like, you know, my battery died the other day. Do you know what I mean? There was no energy in there. So we'll you know, we'll collapse and spiritually die almost. But yeah, we do have that power within us to thrive. And like you said, it's just about, like I said, managing that time, finding ways of managing that time and having someone in place who can help to keep you on track, put in some great routines so you can start to feel alive again, so you can in fact get your groove back. So Kerry, would you bless us please with 3 takeaways that you'd like to share?
So like the first one related to the sad, really, I suppose, and for everything really about getting your groove back and your energy. You know, we get energy by exercising. We create our energy. So exercising outside in the daylight, even if it's just a lunchtime walk. So exercise, and you know, in the winter in the daylight if you can. Second, I would say feed your mind and body with what it needs. So positivity, appreciation, that will make you feel good. Lots of good nutrients. So, you know, the more nutrient dense food you can get in you, the better your body will perform and the better you will feel, the more energy you have. So exercise, feeding your body and your mind with what it needs, positivity, lots of good nutrients. And then I'd say the third one is staying connected with other people. We need people, you know, family, friends, support. So it's reaching out to others and connecting with others. So those, I'd say, were my 3 biggest takeaways.
Yeah, and loving them all. It's as you were speaking, it feels to me it's like treating our body back as a machine, and you know, feeding it the right stuff so it can function at its optimum. And like I said, in particular with the sad is, you know, digging deep, find the courage to get out there during the day for a brief walk. And it's funny, isn't it, that I was talking about like stuck energy in the home and all the rest of it, or stuck energy wherever you are. And just that little walk outside can just reshift the whole thing again, can't it, Kerry? Which is just amazing. Yeah. Okay, so how do we get hold of you? And, you know, especially to get in touch with this Invincible Woman, this Invincible Woman program, which I'm loving. How do we get hold of you, Kerry?
Well, I'm pretty much available on most of the social networks, probably Facebook. You can profile Kerry Eddy. Combined Fitness is my sort of business name, so I've got a Facebook page there. Combinedfitness.co.uk is my website. There's the Invisible Woman Facebook group, so if you remember Invisible Women, it's a Facebook group. I'm on Instagram under Combined Fitness. So Combined Fitness or Kerry Eddy, you search those up and you should find me.
Loving the name, by the way, Kerry Eddy.
Yeah, well, you know, that's my married name. My competition name before that, my maiden name was Kerry Jury, and I struggled to begin with when it went to Kerry Eddy. I'm like, but I got used to it over the years.
I feel like a loss of identity. Give me back my name. It has a ring to it. It has a ring to it. I love it. My lovely, thank you so very much for giving up your time, for sharing your story with us, and you know, letting everyone know that, you know, you went down there. You know, you went down there. You know what I mean? And you climbed back up again and still have your beautiful family. Do you know what I mean? Which is fantastic. We can do it without losing our families, which is amazing to know too. All right, well, I just thank you so very much, Kerry. Speak to you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So that was the wonderful, the lovely Kerry Eddy, heptathlon, PE teacher, mum coach, you know, especially out there for you for the executives who realize that actually not feeling so good within myself, you know, some great tips there, especially if you're going through right now. The reason I want to bring Kerry on board particularly was this, if you get that right, seasonal affective disorder, which I just call sad, the sad disease, a sad condition, because it just makes you feel so sad in this horrible weather. But we can fight back. We can take back our power. We don't have to give our power over to the weather. We can fight back, my darling, and feel alive. We can, in fact, get our groove back. So for more tips and inspiration, my darling, don't forget to log onto my website, which is soulbabe.com. And most importantly, for more tips on keeping yourself alive and thriving, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.